Hey, I'm Taylor, a business consultant and strategist, and I'm here to teach you that you can scale your business sustainably. This is Simply Business, your playbook for structure, clarity, and strategy that grows your business without costing your lifestyle. Let's get into it. When it comes to using social media as like an asset or a platform to sell, and obviously you do it in both kind of arms to sales in the sense of selling on behalf of brands, if you will, in terms of like influencing collaboration kind of work. And then also you now have insight in like having your own products, both from Future You. Throwback.
Throwback. Always forget about that one.
And Matcha Lane now as well. I just said matcha. Ew. It's like when I say it too fast, it goes matcha. Matcha Lane now as well. So I'd love to kind of go into that. But yeah, what do you believe, like when it comes to kind of you're building your brand, your socials, obviously that's not the entire purpose of why you're posting. I think even that's huge for people, like not just posting for the sake of selling. And I think a lot of people get into social media because it's like, oh, cool, I can make money from doing brand collabs and getting free shit. It's like, have a purpose outside of that. But what do you think contributes to being able to sell so authentically like you do? Like I was just saying to Soph before we started recording your latest vlog, and you were talking, it was about the health retreat, and I was like invested because I was like, yeah, it was there, we're meditating. She's like, yeah, and this one's sponsored by Headspace. And I'm like, be fucked. Like it's so perfect. And it's just like in time with like your life. And I think there's even the piece around like taking aligned collaborations, but I'd love you to kind of take the floor where you want to go with that in terms of if someone can walk away from this episode, they're building their socials, they're building their personal brand, what to focus on so that they can actually sell without even selling really, because I'd say you sell without selling very well.
Wow, well, thank you. Well, I think it comes back from a point of I am always thinking about my audience first. Like that is always kind of like my number one at the end of the day is like, obviously I love doing what I do and I love creating the videos that I create, but I'm always like, okay, who's on the other end of this? And I never want them to just feel like I'm just selling something constantly. And like, that is why I'm here. Like I'm here because I love to create and I love to connect. And I think one of the biggest parts is like, I love consuming creators too. Yeah. And I have followed some creators for 10, 15 years. And I genuinely feel like I do know them and trust them. And then they're promoting something and I'm like, well, if they like it, I'm going to buy it. Like I'm going to buy into it. And so I think it is obviously easy and exciting when you're getting into social media and content creating when a brand comes to you and you're like, oh my gosh, like they're offering free product or they're offering, this amount of money for it, to be like, yeah, perfect. Like that's so exciting. But like, do you genuinely use the product? Do you genuinely believe in the product? If I was to tell my friend about it, would she want to do it? Like I think just always putting your audience first in that, and like they are people on the other end. Yeah. Just as when I'm watching people, like I am a person on the other end of this person's video. So I think it's just kind of like seeing it like that. And yeah, if your friend was telling you about this product and you could tell they didn't really back it or like they were getting paid for it, you just kind of like, well, I don't really, like it kind of doesn't make me want to be your friend anymore. Yeah. So it's just so ingenuine. So I think coming from a place of like what feels good and like thinking about your audience first.
If you know me, you know I'm a bit of a data type A nerd. And when we were checking our podcast stats the other day, we realized only 40% of listeners to our show are subscribed. In true Taylor fashion, I've set a goal of getting that number to at least 60%. So if you've been getting any kind of value from these episodes, it would mean the world to me if you could hit follow wherever you listen to your podcasts. It genuinely helps me reach more people, continue to bring on bigger guests, and create more content that's going to allow you to grow your business. So if you haven't already, take 2 seconds, hit follow, and enjoy the rest of the podcast. Okay, love you, bye. Yeah, I love that. And like actually giving them a reason to follow and giving them that value exchange, which is why that they want to follow. Like when I think of anyone that I personally consume, I'm like, it's for that entertainment or that value, and entertainment is value as well. Yeah. And then, if there's a collab in there, I think we were even talking about this at the retreat. I'm like, I never feel like it's like, oh, it's annoying that you're like mentioned something. I'm like, oh, perfect. Like that actually fills a gap because of, I didn't realize that I needed a red light LED face mask and the benefits of it. Do you know what I mean?
And it's so good.
I need to buy one. Plug.
Yeah, like I'll link it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people just create, and I can definitely be guilty of this, of like, oh, well, I've got something to sell, where it's like, how can I actually just lead with value first, which is why I think podcasts is such a great converter for me in my business, because it's like I am just wanting to have chats and like I just want to talk about business and have these kind of conversations and let people in, and then it does organically sell in that way.
100%. Even with so many of my collabs that I do often, I talk about these brands in videos that aren't sponsored all the time.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely are using them and loving them. And half of the collabs that I have are from organically sharing them. And then the company might see and be like, oh, we'd love to pay you for something, or, you know, collaborate on something. And I think that's huge too, because you can tell that I genuinely love it. Even with the red light mask, like I bought it myself over a year ago. Then they saw it and they were like, hey, we'd love to work with you. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
Because I can ramble about it for so long. And I think people can also tell when something is genuine. A lot of the time, I'll get a brief from a brand when I'm working with them, and it's like 60 to 90 seconds. We want you to touch this kind of like dot points. I will talk for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, let's cut this down to at least a bit. But you can tell like genuinely the love for it. And like then I think people, like even when I watch creators and I see that they've done an integration, I'm like, oh yeah. And then they've keep rambling about it. I'm like, I can just tell that they actually mean it, what they're saying. And even in terms of creating content, like I think I've been listening to a lot of podcasts as well recently on content creation and everything that surrounds that, and like watering your audience, like seeing your audience as like a garden, and you need to water them to make sure that they're there and they grow and they want to be there. And I think that is like your organic content and your connection with them and everything. And then I don't know if there's another kind of like analogy to it, but you can like sprinkle it with something else, and that can be the ads, and that can kind of like intertwine, but always kind of being like, this is why I'm here. I'm not here to always sell you something. I'm just here to kind of like be a comfort creator or be a friend or something like that. And then here's some products that I love, and kind of like that interweaves it. Because I think sometimes I watch content, it's just so many ads. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tapped out.
Yeah. And I think that's what really has contributed to like longevity in the space as well, because it hasn't been this thing of taking all of the collabs, like even one that you were saying to me that was like a 5-figure deal that you're like, no, like it's not aligned. And it's like saying no to money and other opportunities that you could be like, oh, well, like, fuck, like I could, and it's easy, and it's only a 60-second integration or whatever it might be, but actually prioritizing your audience. Would you say there's anything else that you believe has contributed to why you've been able to be in the space for almost a decade?
I think pivoting with whatever, because I think, you know, what worked 10 years ago does not work anymore, or what worked even 2 years ago doesn't work anymore. And sometimes it can be incredibly humbling and almost like, I don't even know the word, but you're doing something and it's doing really well and you're like, amazing, I've cracked the code. And then all of a sudden it's just like not doing
Like
well
you're
at all.
chasing your tail.
Yeah.
I think in business it's the same, and everyone just wants to get to like this end point. It's like there is no end point.
Yeah, no, literally perfect. Nothing will ever challenge me again. Like I've hit this, you know, amazing point. I think even with business, it's like you can have all these highs, and then you get used to feeling these highs, and then they stop happening. And you're like, I'm failing. Whereas you're so far ahead of where you were 5 years ago. But it's just like, okay, this isn't working anymore. How do I pivot? How do I still, I suppose, stay relevant in the space whilst maintaining myself as well? This is not something I'm perfect at by any means, but it's kind of like looking at things, being like, okay, this isn't working the same way it is. Also looking at, sometimes I get to a point, I'm like, have I really been vulnerable recently? Maybe not. And then like, as soon as you're kind of vulnerable and you open up, and then I feel like your audience just feels that, and they're like, okay, like we're back. And I'm the same with other content creation that I consume. It's like, you can tell when a content creator is like not really being themselves or holding back, and then they like fully open up and you're like, oh, and now I'm like obsessed with everything you're posting again.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I think pivoting in terms of like, this isn't working, and not getting too, married to that, like, no, but this is what I do. This is what I do. And like, I can't get out of that space, because like, no, like listening to podcasts on what's happening, and just being, I feel like that's with business too. It's like, okay, this isn't working, pivot. How can I still do what I love and still keep it like this, but, you know, having more success.
Yeah, like still staying true to like the values, morals, principles of it, but being able to shift and adapt and see what's working and what's not. And I think even with that comes experimenting as well.
Yeah,
and I think
hugely.
a lot of people I say it in content with clients all of the time. I'm like, well, experiment. Like, you're trying to follow this content planner that's like this 3-step framework. And it's like you were saying, that's not what's going to get you noticed or stand out as well.
Yep.
And that's another episode of Simply Business. I would love for you to rate this podcast, comment below. If you have any feedback, DM me on Instagram, and even better, share it with your friends, family, or share on Instagram. See you in the next episode.